I think I have plateaued in VCV Rack. When I first started getting into rock music and guitar music, like I was a metalhead, and I was on the fence about synths at the beginning, or rather at some point of time. Because like synths almost had a bad rep in the metal community, and but very soon I discovered 70s rock, and these people are going crazy with the synths with Emerson, Keith Emerson, and Tony Banks and Richard Wright. Like lots of people, like like these people were amazing with the synths, like the Mini Moog. So I think I kind of fell in love back with the synths. This can be a future video sometime, like about my love with synthesizers, but very soon I started getting into synthesizers myself, when especially after I got my MIDI keyboard. Like I started getting into VST software synths. At first I was using soft free versions, and later I also got the Mini V. But also I was started hearing about modular synthesis and VCV Rack, and to me at that time it felt like, even now, like I would say, like it is right at the very edge of technology. I feel like, that is the most advanced form of music making right now, because like they're breaking, like there are limitless possibilities with modular synthesis or VCV Rack. And I do want to try it out. Like I think I've also said this same thing in the video about AI. Like I do want to embrace technology. And when I started hearing about VCV Rack, I think there's one video that, I think it was Andrew Huang, like where, he said, like when I think someone asked him, like what can VCV Rack do, or modular synthesis do, and then his answer was, well, what do you want it to do? And it basically implying that, like VCV Rack or modular synthesis can do anything, and I was really excited about that idea. So I did try VCV Rack. My early few like attempts at VCV Rack, before I tried, like there was a big period of like few months where I installed VCV Rack. I opened it and I don't know what to do, like, because I didn't know how to use it. But then I learned from Red Means recording and lots of Omri Cohen and lots of people. Like I learned the basics, and I think I got to a point where I could do subtractive synthesis, and sequencing, like with mostly the basic modules, like a few extra modules. But I I got to a point where like I could get basic stuff done, but I could do basic stuff even on non-modular synthesis like Mini-V or Vital or stuff like that. Sequencing also could be done with with a DAW, or like there were other ways to do sequencing. And it was not, again, synthesis was not something that, at least at that time, I was very much interested in. Uh, so I started taking my experiments like to more more I started taking my jams, my VCV jams, to more experimental territory. Like I remember where I would put like delay, like 20 delays, and the speed of those would like keep going like faster and faster. So like I'm just gonna play it myself, but imagine this happening on VCV Rack. Something like that. So I started doing these extreme experiments. There was lots of stuff like I tried, not lots, maybe a few stuff that I tried, and I was really happy to achieve it. So I still know, maybe like it's something that I can't think of any other way to do it besides VCV Rack. And or it would be very clunky if I tried to do this on Ableton. It would be possible, but like it seems much more easily done on VCV Rack. So I could do some of these experiments. However, there were also lots of things that I could not do, and I know it is possible, but like I never succeeded in doing it. Oh, one thing is microtonal music. I always knew that like VCV Rack has the ability to do microtonal music, but I could somehow never break that. I think there is no like proper quantizer, which is like both easy as well as it can do microtones. There are various 12-thread diatonic quantizers, but there are a few microtonal quantizers that are really hard to understand. I look at them and I don't know what to click on. So I could never do that. And then like I was also finding other solutions to microtonal music which seemed much more easier, like just getting a tuning file and uploading it, like putting it on Vital or Surge, and that seemed a much more easier way to do microtonal music. So these are things which like I was not able to do on VCV Rack. Uh, another big problem that I had with VCV Rack was like I have the free version of VCV Rack, so I can't put it on my DAW. So like whatever I do on VCV Rack stays in VCV Rack. I can take a screen recording of it, or I can use the recorder to like record it. Uh, so like, of course, recently I started the experiment of taking that as a sample and putting it on Ableton. That's something I've discovered recently, but back then, like I don't know what to do. Like that was I just had to start and finish it in VCV Rack. So like I could not integrate it with the other music that I was doing, because I could not use it as a VST. And I did try Cardinal and Cherry Audios. What was it called? Something, but those were very limited. Native Instruments also had block space or something, but again, also it meant I would have to learn it right from the beginning, and I didn't want to go through that process all over again. So I think the other thing was sequencing, and I didn't exactly understand how the concept of sequencing and the concept of an Ableton timeline like exactly works. Because if I especially this was true when I was using Cardinal, I would make a sequence, but then the sequence is always running. Like how would I get it to start and stop when I want it? And I never understood how that works. And the other thing is how to do it for videos. Like if I'm making a video, like how do I show sequencing? Like I don't, because sequencing is a process, it's not really a performance, so that was the other like thing that kind of there was a gap between my music and modular synthesis. So I think because of all these reasons, like I think I kind of plateaued for a while, and then I think the other big reason is like when I look at video lesson, I think I've got the basics down, but like when I think of like like more complicated stuff, like it doesn't interest me as much, because I'm always thinking of, well, how do I show this on video, if I or how do I put this in my song, how do I incorporate it into my music, and that gap is always there. That question is never answered. So like it doesn't I stop there and I don't probe further into like like different modules or different complicated stuff. And again, another thing is like my reference is always like 60s and 70s music, and a lot of these things were probably not there, like things like FM synthesis. Like it doesn't interest me as much, or like I don't even know what, like so that's how far my lack of knowledge is. Like I don't even know what is the next step, like I do feel there is a big gap of knowledge in VCV Rack. And I know Omri Cohen is doing a lot. I think Omri Cohen is probably an example of like, well, he's doing so much that it becomes like like I don't know where to go. Like once I'm done with the basics, like I don't know where the intermediate is. Like it's like, okay, basics, you got the basics down. Now you have to see the advanced videos, which I don't understand. Like so. I think that has become a big gap, but I do want to get back into VCV Rack. Like I think like I feel like it really goes with my idea of music, because like VCV Rack is about breaking the barriers, breaking the boundaries of music, and that is what I really stand for. But I do feel that gap that has happened right now. So I could definitely use the sampling idea, like make something and sample it, and to that could be something. But I also don't want to do the same things I've done. Like I don't want to do subtractive synthesis on VCV. Like I could just open up mini V, and that's a much easier way to do subtractive synthesis. But I want to, as I said, I want to get into it. So there is something coming up. I don't know, should I reveal it or not? Okay, I'll give you a hint. There is a video coming up, a big video coming up on VCV. Like that'll probably be the last video of the year. So there is one big VCV Rack related video coming up. So if you'd like to watch that, like make sure you have your notifications turned on and like this video. And I will be making, for this video I will be making some music using VCV Rack. I don't know what I'll do. I will try to incorporate the guitar or like other instruments, because that is my goal. I want to use VCV Rack not by itself, but in conjunction with my other music. So I'll try to do something like that. And if there is a backing track to that, the backing track will be on my Patreon. So please do go and support me if you'd like to support the channel. All my backing tracks to all my videos are on Patreon, and I also have lots of alternate takes of some of the songs, some demo phone recordings of some of my originals, chords of some songs. So all of this is on Patreon. For just $10 a month you get access to all of this. And if you'd still like to support but want to support at a lower tier, there's also a $5 tier, which is for which you can get access to 2 of my sample packs, the Sitar sample pack volume 1, where as well as the Synthetic India sample pack. So yes, that is it for this video. Let's head on over to the outro music.